It is with the utmost pride and sincerity that I present this recording as a living testament and recollection of history in the making during our generation.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
What's interesting is that not to understand black radio, listen, man, it's like with hip-hop in general. MTV had it way before BET. I hate to say that, I hate to bust them out like that, but BET, if we want to talk about just videos, ain't had no Rap City until MTV did it once, and MTV did it, you know, on a lark. And then they said, wow, we do it once a week for a half hour, it's the least overhead and it's making the most money. So the point is that you got Ebony and Jet and black print media and black radio falling behind because they way behind. Now when the market was segmented, which it continues to be, I mean in one sense, you know, black top 40, Mariah Carey's making this, Elvis over here, Paul Simon over here, and yet all of them are popping. They can cross over the Negroes, but Negroes can't do the, you know, all these kind of racist divisions that continue to fragment the American popular culture and American pop music scene. The reality is that the black radio is driven by a set of constraints that are economically imposed, as well as any other market. So the thing is that when it began to cross over, the reality is that the black market hold on these artists had evaporated. The commodity fetishism, as Marx talked about it, that had continued to impose even tighter constraints on black music because it had to be driven by what were the hits and what had to be played. It had less room. If you do a kind of social history of black music and black radio stations for the last 20, 30 years, it ain't just hip-hop music. Look at what happened to R&B before. I mean, if you look at what happened to hip-hop or blues before that. You think we got bad problems? KRS-One, at least B.B. King gonna say, at least they playing KRS-One. They know his name. I got to go to white folks over here in Georgia to go to a concert and to support me, even though that may not be true enough. So it's every generation has its own particular complaints. So one of the things we have to do, if we're gonna be honest about it, is we say not only play KRS-One, but play, you know, Big Mama Thornton, right? And play Sam Cooke, or play Donny Hathaway. Is that their achievements were never merely personal achievements, but they were indexes of how black people were reasonable in a culture that deemed them unreasonable. So the point is that all of these are not simply indexes of how we're more brilliant than people thought. We want to get beyond that. And the best black artists always get beyond trying to prove themselves to white folk and do their thing. And the beauty of what you're talking about in this comparative analysis is to show the way in which hip-hop culture has already accessed antecedent oral cultures, not only within African-American society, but a literary tradition that was orally transmitted and passed on for centuries through a kind of European context. And it
Allow me to reintroduce myself.